Today is just a normal day at Atkins High School. A group of so-called nerds gather around at a lunch table, playing Smash Brothers for Nintendo 3DS. On the surface, it may seem like a casual gathering to play games, but underneath lies the hidden lore of Atkins Smash. Atkins High School, where it's cool to be smart. Such a place would be perfect for a young Smash Bros. Community to be born. Through the years since Smash Bros. For 3DS's release, the competitions and rivalries at Atkins have thrived and evolved. Of course, most none of them planned on going competitive when they first picked up the game.
How did you get into Smash?
Well, I started playing during the Brawl era, when Brawl first came out. And me, my brother, his friends, and our cousins would all play Brawl together. And we sort of made our own competitive standings, so like we would give each other ranks. And that was like, we didn't really know it at the time, but that was our first step into a competitive scene for Smash as a whole.
Melee was actually the first video game I ever played. I got it for Christmas when I was only 5. But I didn't even know that there was a competitive realm for it until I came to Atkins.
But as time went by, it became clear that the growing number of Smash players couldn't be confined to a couple of lunch tables. The time had come to expand. Wilbless, an Echo, one day decided that the proper environment for Smash Bros. Would be their very own club.
Well, I wasn't there when it was made, but I did know Will Blast, and when he made it, it was like super exciting for him, I remember.
Well, it all started during a fire drill sophomore year in Civis 2, which was the class that we had together. And in that fire drill, that was during the 3DS days, and Willis and I were playing, and we were like, wait, there's a League of Legends club. There should be a Smash club, too. So we didn't have a clue who to make our teacher representative, and we were talking about it on the way back from the fire drill to the class, and Mr. Strawn overheard us, and he was like, yeah, I have nothing going on, so might as well do it. And then we were like, sure. So we got a teacher and the idea, and then both of us got a sheet of paper and had to get 25 signatures to get the club started, which we did, and you can take it from there.
But being part of a club meant you had to have a gamer tag.
What was the origin story of your tag?
Which one?
Well, Nefru was, my official tag, and that's a combination of my last name, my first name, my middle name, Reese William Nefru. So that's pretty unoriginal.
My first tag was John's Cena. It was in the middle of the whole John Cena meme days. And I mained Greninja at the time, and Greninja had like the Shadow Sneak, and he would just kind of come out of nowhere, like the whole "you can't see me" whole thing. It was stupid, but I liked it.
Originally, my first tag was Dr. Fab, which was short for Dr. Fabulosity. That tag came about back in my Terraria days. I basically created a character with a purple mohawk, and I was like, this is going to be the biggest goof of all time. I'm going to call him Dr. Fab. Little did I know that that actually stuck. It became my new tag, and that was pretty much what it was for a bit.
Alopex came from one of the older Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comics. It's the name of one of the Arctic Wolves, and it was a really big thing at the time. And I was like, hey, I'm gonna start using Fox, so it'll be like a good tag for me. So yeah.
Tag is Glader. It's a book. It's mainly just about proving people wrong when they underestimate you, showing them that you can be like them, do better. That's about it.
But the next tag that I use, which started when I started putting my tag down, and we use and everything, logging in my name. And I noticed that YTYG, the line, and then Nefer doesn't fit. So I had to come up with something else. And I came up with up air, because at the time I used to main Rosalina, and I up aired everybody. Everybody hated it. And so I just named myself up air for that.
Well, it started out pretty good when it was first made because we had all the people that were cool and tended to be on the older side and mature about things, and we had organized stuff. And then as time progressed, I was personally getting too busy to run Smash Club myself due to basketball and tennis and all that other stuff. So Wilblus kind of ran it, and Robbie got himself involved, and Wilblus kind of let him take over. And ever since then, it turned into like a very divided group. Either you are wanting to play 8-player Smash on the big TV, or you're like a melee elitist. There was kind of no in between, aside from a very select few people. So it just started turning chaotic, and that's how it got the bad reputation of all the smelly kids playing 8-player Smash on the big screen.
Smash Club. Oh man, I really miss Smash Club. My thoughts on it. I really wish it came back, because that's where I really started getting into Smash and the competitive scene with all the tournaments and everything.
So Smash Club is a great place for beginners to start in and get better at the game, to prepare them for tournaments that are outside of Atkins, the big boy tournaments.
It was fun while it lasted, but it's pretty much dead.
But not everything in Smash Club was rainbows and flowers.
Smash Club is loud, obnoxious, smelly, unruly,
It was smelly, it was noisy, it was almost always salty.
and it's a dictatorship. Do you want me to go on, or is that going to be enough? The whole targeting thing is hilarious to me.
We would all sit down for 8-player Smash on Wii U, and if everybody went after one person, then somebody would shout like, "Targeting! You're targeting me!" or something like that.
How do you even play free-for-alls? What's the point of that? That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Seagulls, just play one-on-one. You don't need to play 8-player Smash.
It was just the peak of scrubbery, and I think that's when I stopped going to Smash Club.
Although conflicts were prominent in Smash Club, the community remained tight and eventually gave birth to a new crew. It began with 2 players, Dylan Jennings and Reese Neff. Their crew would soon rule over the Smash brackets for years to come.